This is Spartacus episode finale review, Wrath of the Gods. Wow. This episode, they said save the best for last. This lived up to its name. Really lives up to its name. There had been so many happening in this episode. First, Spartacus, as usual, tries to keep the group together, try to keep the freedom fighters together. Meanwhile, below, what's happening down there? They're guarding down there, just waiting for them to come out. Glabber guys know that they're gonna come out sooner or later. It's when they're gonna come out. So while they're waiting, Asher came, and for whatever reason, you can know that Asher was trying to pull off something. Then some Spartacus guy came. I think they were the Germans. They came, and for some reason, I'm like saying, why would Spartacus send these guys down there and they know they're outnumbered? They know they can't send them. They just know they can't just go down there full attack like that. It's like going down there suicide. So I'm like saying, what kind of plan is Spartacus really coming up with it? And then I saw Spartacus came. They're like taking the Roman army and the Syrians. And then this Indian fellow guy just came in, and it's like they're fighting with Spartacus for a while. I'm saying, let's see what's gonna happen. Then I'm seeing like Spartacus was going for a kill, and then some retreat was coming in. And then Spartacus told the guys to pull back right away. That German guy is such a stupid guy. He's like he was going for his own outburst. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even tell Spartacus about what they were planning. You know what I'm saying? He like convinces Lugo and this girl and some others to go on out and see what they can do. They're like for fighting time for real. You can't just go in there without a plan, without your leader noticing, and go fight some Roman army. It's nonsense. And based off his action, while Spartacus and guys was there going up that hill, I think it's Glabber, riding man. He flings an ox, and Mira's like there, defending and pulling back them while they were going up. She was like being a shield for them. And being that shield she is, the guy which fling that ox, it went right in here, right in her chest. And I'm like, there so soon. I made my Spartacus Vengeance prediction, and I said I didn't want anybody that make it through this chapter so far to die, especially if they're that much of a main character. You know what I'm saying? The main good character. And when I saw that happen to me, I'm like saying, oh Spartacus, look, what are we gonna do? For the fact I saw Spartacus going to a mental breakdown to my eyes, and then he rushes her up there while she was still breathing, hoping that he could save her, but he was too late. And I was like broke down. I was really sad to see that happen. It just happened off guard, unpredictable. It happened unnoticeable. You know what I'm saying? And they're like falling apart. Spartacus took his anger, and he's like they're insane. What a selfish action you did. For instance, Spartacus, I would have said if I was in Spartacus' shoes and I saw them done that, I would have saved their life. But the leader in which Spartacus is, he need them as he needs as much group, as much army to keep them together for what's about to come. You know what I'm saying? And he did a stupid thing. I didn't like it. Meanwhile, Asher is back at where Spartacus and the guys were at. And they're like, Glabber is like they're saying they will come down. You know what I'm saying? They will come down. Meanwhile, Lucretia and Lydia was like traveling They were traveling to where Glaber was. I'm like saying this thing that Alethea and Lucretia had, I couldn't believe it. I gotta skip on some of this. I couldn't believe what Lucretia did. In my prediction on Spartacus Vengeance last time, I said I wanted Lucretia to kill Alethea, but instead Lucretia self-sacrificed her and that child. We know that she had a history of never could have conceived a child, and the fact that is like she was going to the psycho mode, and she fell off. She jumped that way cliff and she dropped. And I'm like saying that was enough. That what she did wasn't of vengeance, but because I thought she would have killed Alethea for what she had done in the past. You know what I'm saying? It's like she weren't that much of the woman that I thought her was to be in this chapter, but she came out even monstrous than even Alethea they expected, because you can see when Alethea was trying to push her off the cliff, I know that Lucretia wasn't stupid. She knew what she was planning was to kill her, because she was like there, and then she looked down and she saw she was leaking, and for that very moment, if that never happened, I think Alethea would have killed Lucretia, and Lucretia came there to kill her as well. So they're like watching each other but waiting to kill one another. But to me, what Lucretia did, it wasn't making an attempt to kill her, but making an attempt to have what she probably never could have gained. Meanwhile, after those kills happened, the war has begun, and Spartacus made this plan. You heard him saying, there's not enough. There's a few enough twigs for not enough few of us, something like that. Was saying it in a way in which they are planned now in order to go down and ambush and get a little manpower and get a little more for advantage. And I saw them making twigs of the twigs like vines, wrapping it around, making it stronger, and they were going down the hill, and I'm saying, oh my lord, this is a long way down. And when they were going down, it's like Ogron chipped some stones, and Spartacus said damn, and they jumped out, and when blood spilled from there, war begins, and they were taking some Roman ass, and Spartacus sent this signal, and once Onomaeus heard that signal, once Glaber saw that fire, the war is beginning. Glaber sent out all the Roman troops out there, and war colliding. There were war going on. The Indian Philip doing his thing, roaring, doing their thing, chopping up. Man, there was such an epic moment while that was happening. We got a little clip of what Lucretia was, with Alethea, as I was saying, and like Lucretia came from the room in a knife. I think she killed one of the slave, and then she stabbed Alethea's slave, and you can see how much of a person she was good, turning her to be. And like I'm saying, oh my lord, Alethea is saying, what are you doing? I'm giving birth, dude. Don't you care? What do you care about the baby? And she said that you're just a womb which God brings gift for you and all this stuff. And I'm like, she's like saying, we're just friends. Why are you doing this to me? Are we friends? And she said, friend it is. And she's there, and I think she cut through that belly and take her the baby. That's when all of what happened that I just said happened dead. And after all of that was happening, I'm like saying, while Spartacus was fighting, while Spartacus was fighting Glaber, which is his worst enemy, his wife is having his kid. I'm like saying, it's so ironic, like what's taking place now is what's going to happen. So he's like his worst enemy wife is having his kid. And I said, oh my lord, there's gonna be a new route to vengeance. I'm like saying, oh my lord, this is going on so quick, and like they're fighting, and like Onomaeus is going head on with this Indian fella, with this Egyptian, whatever you want to call him, fella, and like they're fighting, and then before Animus jumped in, Genicus was firing him. I said, if Crixus fall while firing that guy, Animus fall while firing that guy, you know, Spartacus could have made an attempt to make that guy fall. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to say that Genicus would have made that attempt to make him fall. You know, and then, you know, he kicked Genicus off board, and you know, Animus jumping, you know, doing his thing, and like they're chopping it out. You know what I'm saying? You know, for some seconds or some split seconds, the Indian guy stopped Animus, and you get that stop, and you know, Genicus was so shattered, tear dropped, and he jumped in, and like finally, she, you know, taking, you know, doing their thing, and he's like they're holding him back, and you know, and Genicus chopped him in his head, you know, split it open, so quick, and like blood was splitting all over the place, you know, and like, you know, even then after what, you know, whatever Genicus has done to Animus, you know, it's still proven to call him the brother in which, you know, he knew him as, and like that was the most emotional moment, just like Mirror and Animus. Those are emotional moments that I saw so far. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Spartacus was going over into the Roman territory, you know, fighting the Romans. They even jumped the wall. You know, I'm glad it's like they couldn't believe these guys. You know, they're all fighting for their own vengeance, in which they can gain their freedom, and they're going to go a long way. And Spartacus are taking it to that land. Starts with one, which is Glaber. They're taking down Glaber. Glaber was fighting Spartacus head on. You know, I knew Glaber was in type of guy fight. He always run, but he was fighting on head on. Spartacus, you know, was just a gladiator, maybe the Romans, but you know, they train gladiator far better than Romans, you know, than ever will train. And you know, and Spartacus juked him in his stabbed him in his belly. You know, and like there, Glaber's like there, I will not be handled by a slave, and you know, and he's like there, you don't see your place here, Glaber. I am a free man. That's my place. You know, and he, you know, shoved the sword straight through his mouth, straight through his neck, go straight through. And he made a speech. And that speech, you know, the last speech, and it was really incredible. You know, and I like this episode a lot. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of vengeance that's at stake here. First vengeance that will take here, the vengeance of vengeance of Lucretia making that attempt in which she had made to kill Asher, because she made a little attempt to kill Asher. That attempt in which she brought Sophia, brought her handband to Glaber to make it seem as if, you know, Asher owed some evidence, you know, of what might have happened to you know, crossfired on Glaber, because you know, Glaber, you know, never think that Saren, he knows that Saren was a betrayer, but having the proof he hears, he just say, I'm tired of having snakes, and he even make his own men turn against him. But he had the idea about send him up where Spartacus guy was, and I'm not saying Nevia took that guy out as a rat he was. And I like the beginning she made, even though it created a lot of burden. I like that beginning. That's the change in which she had made for herself on her terms as a woman. She is not because of the woman she wanted anyone to look at her as a woman she is. But I like this episode a lot. Turns out well, and they're saying another season of Spartacus will come out 2030. I'm looking forward for that season. And there's a new series that is called Magic City and Stars. I'm looking forward to watch this as well. But in my opinion, this is a great episode. I liked it well. This was a majestic episode. I loved it. It was an episode of proving the fact that the vengeance its name was given its name, and what had take place was a true vengeance of everyone. Spartacus finally got his vengeance over the man who took the woman he loved, and the rebellions got their freedom from slave and shackling in which they were born. I like the step in which the woman in this chapter Navia had made. Lucretia, she's a monster of all monsters, and what she did was really psycho and real monstrous. You know what I'm saying? And as I always say, you ain't gonna know who is evil from what is not. They say you can't turn a good man evil. You just can't, because that's the one thing that you never see coming. This time Lucretia was a mastermind who plots everything, and in the end even in her that her vengeance is profitable. And I like everything this podcast episode are given. It's a good chapter. Peace out.